Let's take a look at flood insurance. So flood insurance must be purchased from the National Flood Insurance Program. They call it the NFIP. If your home or if a consumer's home is located in a flood zone, they must have flood insurance for the life of the loan. In evaluating flood insurance terms, the risk of flood potential are identified by the Special Flood Hazard Area, SFHA. The SFHA is defined as the area that will be inundated by the flood event having a 1% chance of being equaled or exceeded in any year. That 1% annual chance is also referred to as what's called the 100-year flood. 100-year flood. But what I want you to pay more attention to are the following. Flood zones. High-risk flood zones. You need to know that high-risk flood zones are zones A and V. And any homes are divided into zones at the county assessor's office. And if a home is in a zone A or in a zone V, then they're in what's called a high-risk flood zone. And flood insurance is mandatory for those. So any home that is in zone A or zone V, they must have flood insurance because that's considered a high-risk flood zone. Moderate flood zones are properties that are located in zone B or X. For those, insurance is optional. And low-risk flood zones are homes that are in zone C and also X, some portions of X. And you won't have to get that detailed into it, but flood zone is not required. I need you to remember what's considered high flood zones. Those are zones A and V. And in those zones, flood insurance is mandatory for the life of the loan. And flood insurance is generally, you can pay it separate or you can have it added to your payments. Now, the minimum amount of flood insurance that's required is $100,000 and the maximum is $250,000. You're going to need to know that. What's the minimum amount of flood insurance that may be required? $100K. And what's the maximum amount that may be required? $250,000.